Hello traders, because the video coming to you from theclosingprint.com, March the 2nd, 2025. In this edition of your weekend video newsletter, we'll discuss the indices still in a range-bound pattern and beneath the 50-day moving average, with some improvement last week as most sectors bounced, financials, staples, and healthcare showing the most relative strength, while leaving us with 7 bullish indicators, 4 neutral, and 9 bearish as we start the new week. And as we start the month of March, we're looking for seasonality to improve. The New York FANG index showed some improvement as well, with all 10 components rising into the close on Friday after the index dropped below the 100-period moving average to end the week. RSI is below 50, MACD and stochastics look ready to turn and are oversold. The Dow Industrials 30 stocks back above its 50-day moving average, with the Qs bouncing before getting to the 200-day moving average. The latter is up and to the right. Still very bullish on the long term. Stochastics oversold. MACD and RSI could turn back up this week if we see some improvement in the New York FANGs and the big cap tech names. In addition, the S&P 500 showing RSI improving, turning back up like previous occasions. The last 2 times we bounced off of this green bullish trend line, and it appears that's what we did on Friday, about a 5% move to end the week. That said, RSI is improving. Price action is trying to get back to the 50-day. MACD and stochastics are oversold and turning. Checking the S&P Equal Weight Index, we do see price action moving back above the 50-day moving average, still in the descending channel, while the number of stocks above the 20-day move back above 50%, and the number of stocks above the 50-day at 55%. We are seeing improvement as noted on Thursday and Friday. We still have the advanced decline percent for the S&P 500, mid caps, small caps, and NASDAQ in descending order, all pointing higher. Looking for a follow through into Monday trading. While more indicators are turning bullish, we still have some bearish indicators with breadth when it comes to the NASDAQ Composite and the New York Stock Exchange. Both have their summation indexes bearish and turning lower. We need to see those turn up this week, with the New York Stock Exchange summation index just touching and crossing through the trend line on Thursday. Looking for these to turn back up. New York Stock Exchange, advanced decline moving sideways. And we have a green elder stick on Friday. So we're looking for a bounce and a follow through to start Monday trading. One of the bullish indicators starting off the week is junk bonds continues to push higher as of February, pushing back above its 50-day moving average and rising. Momentum indicators are bullish. This is good for equities. If we continue to see this, risk on, with the bond market catching a bid as yields move lower. TLT, IEF, LQD, and AGG are all pushing higher and bullish. If we focus on the US dollar, we're still in a descending channel below the 50-day moving average, but rising to end the week on Thursday and Friday. This is putting pressure on commodities like gold, which resumed the downtrend that started on Tuesday, closing lower on Friday. Silver lost ground as well, but bounced at its 50-day moving average. At the same time, we saw weakness in commodities. As the dollar rose, commodities pulled back, with the Deutsche Bank Commodities Index stopping at the 50-day and bouncing briefly as shorts covered. That said, we're looking for a follow-through, which would be bullish for equities for this to continue. Finally, we have Brent, crude oil, and gasoline products fading. into the end of February. MACD, stochastics not shown, and RSI are all dropping, showing weakness in this group, giving us a bullish signal at the present time. The majority of sectors improved last week, coming from the lagging quadrant up through improving. Communications is still very strong. Financials turning back up from the weakening sector, while the loan sector, consumer discretionary, continues to dive due to the weakness that we've seen in Tesla and Amazon, which make up about 50% of the sector weight. With most of those sectors improving, we are looking at the ones that show the most strength, like financials, consumer staples, and healthcare. Those three sectors are showing the most strength, with all of the sectors showing some short covering or bullish activity to end the week. This week we have a number of IBD 50 stocks that look like they could follow through in the list below, with many of these stocks moving back above their 20 and 50-day moving average, like A2 Life, AXSM above the 20-day and rising, Boston Scientific moving back towards its 20-day, looking for a push to the upside. Court Therapeutics also bouncing at the 50-day. CPRX moved back above its 50 and 20-day last week. Relatively inexpensive pharmaceutical name, with Clearwater Analytics also showing a nice little consolidation, looking for a break above 32 this week. With security stocks coming back in vogue, we saw Palo Alto Networks being bought by Stephanie Link last week. We had CyberArk and CrowdStrike both bouncing at the 50-day moving average. DoorDash, DocuSign, many of these stocks look like they could follow through this week. While Dutch Brothers did follow through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, pushing higher, looking for more volume. Garmin Limited also bounced, looked like it could turn around and push higher this week. With many of the healthcare related sectors and stocks bouncing, as well as financials, so look for those to continue higher, like the big banks and the broker dealers, in particular Robinhood, which bounced off its 50-day moving average after a consolidation post-earnings. We're looking for a bounce and a follow-through. The company announcing that it would be expanding into the UK. While stocks like TradeWeb also bounced last week. 20-50-day cross looks like it's coming in the next week or two, with the blue line crossing up through the red as price action moves higher. VSE Corp also breaking higher on above average volume last week. Palomar, a new addition to the IBD 50, looking very strong on Friday. Looking for a follow through this week, as we saw above average volume and an attempt to break out above 130 on Friday. Okay, traders, that's going to do it for me. This is Cousin Vinny coming to you from theclosingprint.com on Sunday, the 2nd of March, 2025. I realize this is a bit shorter video this week. I just started recording this morning on Sunday. There are a lot of wildfires in the immediate area that the county is trying to put out. And with that, we need to do a little preparation because parts of the neighborhoods adjacent to us have already been evacuated. So fingers crossed, hopefully everything works out, as this very unusual condition all across the state. I'll send out a watch list later tonight around 12 midnight on the East Coast, around 9 o'clock on the West Coast. So be sure to check your inbox for that later tonight. Take care and hopefully see you in the morning. Ciao.